Hello everyone, I am Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and today we are discussing my personal opinion about out-of-print decks that needs a reprint. Now, there are many reasons why a deck is no longer in print. There are many reasons why a deck will never be able to be reprinted, and so I don't want this to be some sort of call for these decks to come out of print, because it doesn't matter. This is just simply my opinion, and I just am saying this opinion because I know how much I adore these decks and how I think that if the creator is so inclined, and if they have the ability to, and if the publishers and if the stars aligned, if it can be that a reprint happens, well, why not? So let's talk about those decks in my collection that I have that I think warrants a reprint. All right, so the first one that I get asked about a lot is the Delta Enduring. The Delta Enduring. And this is by Egan. And this deck is not in print. It was, I believe it was on Kickstarter. What happened for me and how I got this deck, I have it in this box. I don't have it in its tuck box because I wanted to protect the box. It was like, it was starting to kind of like come undone, so I was like, oh no, I'll just put it in this container here for tarot decks. But I pre-ordered it at that sweet spot of when a creator has just started delivering the decks to the Kickstarter backed decks. Here's the backs, and then they have an overflow of some pre-order decks, or they put them up for pre-order on their site. That's how I got this deck. I got it in that sweet spot. It's the backs. And there's the sides. It's a gorgeous deck. This deck, guys, is so amazing. I adore it. I love reading with it. I sometimes bust it out for client readings, video client readings, not in person. The Empress. And it has special meaning for me because my family is from the United States South. So my parents are born and raised in Mississippi, not Louisiana, where this deck is actually like the inspiration is where it's from. But we have family that's in Louisiana because it's the neighboring state to Mississippi. There's a lot of cultural things are quite similar down there. Different. Oh, look, that's the backs again. Different. And this is the Seer of Moths. This is the moths represents the air, and that's the other thing they have different. So the oaks are the wands. There's the warrior, obviously the Knight of Wands. Even the creator, even talks about gentrification here. And I can't recall if this is the 5. Oh no, it's the 5 of Moths, so it is the 5 of Air. It says, coming soon, luxury condos, live, play, love. And sometimes we are the ones who are benefiting from it, and sometimes we are the victims of such a situation. I know personally I have been both. Dare I say. So this is definitely, in my opinion, a deck that deserves a reprint. A lot of people wanted a reprint. A lot of people expected it, but then the creator just stopped communicating, and we never really heard from the creator again. And let me tell you, when you're creating probably something like a deck, it is an all-in endeavor. You are creating 78 individual pieces of artwork. And in this case, this deck actually had more than that. It was like 82 cards or something like that. It was quite a few more. So, you know, they're pouring their heart and soul into it. And when you have a Kickstarter situation where people have fronted their money, it then becomes this whole kind of different dynamic than it would be if you just did the project and not had any funding to begin with. But that is difficult, right? I mean, so it's a difficult thing for creators. I have to say, I I can empathize. The wheel is gorgeous. I get a lot of people asking me, are you going to sell the deck? Will you sell it? At this point, no. This is one of my favorite cards, one of my favorite devils of all time. It's, like I said, this deck means a lot to me because it's a modern interpretation of the region where my family hails from. And many of the things that go on in Louisiana also affect things that go on in Mississippi. And when we would travel as a kid, we would travel cross country from California to Mississippi. We would pile in a big old station wagon or a minivan that my parents' cousins would rent, and all the kids would pile in the back, and we'd go across country in 1 or 2 vehicles. It was something that we would do every other summer, and we would pass through Louisiana and stop through, and it just it has special meaning for me. Ace of Oaks. So I just want to share that specialness with everybody else. Termite Swarm is one of the bonus cards that were created. I think they had a Hurricane one that was a bonus one. Here's the Lovers. Yeah. Okay. So 5 of Oak. I'm so moody, this deck. Oh my goodness. Here's the Ace of Moths, which is traditionally the Ace of Swords or Ace of Air. Strength. So I always talk about this. You see that little puncture wound right there? He was a puppy at the time. Bishop, Sir Bishop is his proper name. That's our little Jack Russell Terrier. You probably have seen him sometimes in the videos or heard about him or heard him bark. He was a puppy, and this card fell, and he used to have this thing where he would like to, if something fell to the floor, it's game on. He wants to play by snatching it up and taking off with as fast as he can, because Jack Russell Terriers can run really fast. And he took off. And he had this strength card, this card. And I was like, oh my God, please guys. And so all the kids, my husband, we're all trying to, gently, calmly get the card back and have him tear it up and demolish it like he normally would. And he didn't. The card fell, and this was the only thing, was this little puncture. So it has special, endearing meaning to me. It's gone through some things, y'all. As have I. So it's a special deck. It has a guidebook. Little guidebook. So if the creator is ever so inclined, I wish a mass market publisher would pick it up, because it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Okay, the next deck that I want to talk about is a newer one on the block. It's not new, but it's new to us. Okay, what do I mean by that? That is the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot. So this deck was a work in progress, like probably in the imaginations of Avalon's mind way before 2016, 2017, when she made the announcement, I'm going to create a deck, and I'm going to work with Anatarian, and we're going to do this. And they embarked on this journey. And now we're in 2020. At the time of this recording is October 31st. It's Halloween. It's my little butterfly fascinator here. I love butterflies. This deck definitely needs a reprint. No, I'm not. I know some of my collector friends are like, why would you say that? No, it's, the value is where it's at. I'm not talking about a reprint of another printing of the indie version. Avalon has been through enough with creating this deck. I'm talking about a mass market, company picking it up for mass market printing. I think that would be best. That way it still holds its value for the collectors, and for those who didn't get a chance to get it, they can get it at a great price, more easily and readily available through mass market. And then Avalon and Anna can then reap some benefits from that as well, right? I think that's a win-win. I will even also pick up a backup copy of it, so I will not damage the precious, beautiful red gilding that it has. Let's talk about it. All right, so we got this guidebook, very thick. I've been enjoying reading it. Not that I've had a lot of time, but to sometimes keep my brain fresh and to keep myself readily available for readings, I read guidebooks. You know, and then I read stuff that's not even tarot or magical related. Here's the gilding. Right now I have it in its box because I'm getting ready to lovingly and gently package it. So yeah, or keep it with me. I'm going to have certain decks traveling with me. I should say that my husband and I are we're going to go on a sabbatical with our daughter and take some time off before we settle on where we're going to live. So certain decks are going to be traveling with me because of either their value or because of their workhorse decks. So this would be one of the ones that's going to travel with me. So I put it back in its guide box and not in its cool little bag that I left upstairs that I have for it. The bags, come on, come on. Ah, gorgeous. This just, I'm so happy the cardstock is what I hoped for. I was worried it was going to be that. It's a blessing and a curse. You know that matte feeling where it almost feels like velour-y kind of. It almost feels like cloth, and you love it because it feels so good to your hands, to the texture. But the shuffle with it is like a nightmare. This isn't that at all. But because it has this gorgeous gilding, I'm babying it. And I haven't had any problems with the gilding myself. Oh, there she is. I don't have any issues with it, but I baby it. Just like I baby the Light Seers Tarot Indie Edition. And I use the hell out of the mass market. So it'd be a similar situation, I'm sure. So I won't keep gushing on. I've been having so many videos about the Bonestone. You know me. I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. You know, I can do that. So this is one that I think would be really wonderful if a mass market publisher picks it up. Okay? All right. And from what I hear, word on the street, word on the curb is that the Avalon, she said it herself on one of her videos that the mass market publishers have been reaching out to her. So good job. All right, let's keep going because you know me, I'm long-winded. And I realized I just saw emails coming through that I've got readings on Halloween to do. Yay. I'm blessed. Oh my goodness. Okay. I just realized too. I realized that I'm thinking I'm going to start needing reading glasses. Oh my gosh. B, one of the ones that is on this list, two of the ones are upstairs and they may only get honorable mentions. Sorry. One of them I think is in here in one of these containers and I can get to. And the other one may not be. Maybe upstairs, but that's okay. Let's talk about it. The Bohemian Gothic is the next one. And this one is currently out of print. It always sells out quickly when the creator, Baba Studios, puts it on their website. Here's the back. This is the 3rd edition. And here's the box with the little white book. I actually have the, I forgot the name of it, but it basically is a really beautiful glossy paged guidebook that recently came out, I think last year or earlier this year. I can't remember. I think it was last year. And I got that, but the little white book is more than sufficient. This is such a good deck. Oh my gosh. It is my son's favorite of mine. He can't have it though. This is one he cannot have. Sorry. Not sorry. But I'll read it. I use it to read tarot for him. This is the one. He's like, can you get, I might have another tarot deck on the table and he'll kind of look at it and like, no, can you get the other one, the one I like? I'm like, yes, I can. It's funny how we all have an affinity for certain cards, even those of us who are new to cards. So the Bohemian Tarot. The Bohemian Gothic, not Bohemian Tarot. Now this one's out of print for a number of reasons, right? Because it's in high demand. People are always snatching them all up as soon as they're printed. You know, it's costlier now to publish in light of the pandemic. It takes a lot of effort for the creator. I love this Wheel of Fortune. It takes a lot for the creator to get it done and get it going. And they're ready to move on to different endeavors according to their recent explanation as to what's going on with their decks. So we may or may not see another reprinting. I think they mentioned there may be one more reprinting. Yay, for those who want that. I don't ever see them doing mass market. It's just not that kind of, I don't know. It's just not. It's very boutique to me, this deck. As is with the gorgeous and gifted to me recently, Victorian Romantic. By the same creator, the Baba Studios, Karen Mahoney, you know, Alex Ucala. They are the ones that created the decks. So it feels very boutique to me. Like they will not really be inclined to do mass market. You know, maybe they've been offered in the past and maybe they've just chosen not to do that. And that's understandable. Just as maybe Avalon may say yay or nay to having one created, you know, for the Bonestone and the Delta Enduring. You know, it really is a creator's personal choice on that. I don't have any judgments. I'm all about it. I'm all here for it because I'm going to get it and use it. Okay, so I'm all here for it, and I'm full on ready to support a creator. I am. Hence the large collection of independently produced decks that I have here. All right, so I kind of threw in, y'all didn't even notice that probably, I kind of threw in the Victorian Romantic as another one that I'm hoping to be reprinted. Even if it's produced by Baba Studios, and these two, I think if they could do one more run so more people can get access to them, that's great. As a collector, I like that a few are only in the streets because that keeps the value up. But as someone who loves sharing the beauty of tarot, I love when people are able to get access to decks too. So, you know, you can have both, I guess. All right, the next one I'm hoping is in this container here that I've packed. That will be at my mom's, that I'm hoping she will ship to me wherever we end up landing and going. Let me see, guys. Is it in there? I hope. Please be. And not somewhere else that I can't get to you. It may just be an honorable mention, because I'm not seeing it at all. I thought I had it. I'm frustrated because I was supposed to be ready, and I'm not. I bet you it's in this one, and I don't know. Well, let's just talk about these two. The two that are not here at the table, because for time's sake. The first one is Tarot of the Ages, and I really wanted to show you it. It is a U.S. Games, and I'm going to try to, just bear with me here. I'm going to try to find it, but it's a U.S. Games deck that I have mixed feelings about mentioning because I'm not necessarily enamored with it all the way. Because, you know, Pantheon decks where they have, I don't necessarily resonate with those kind of decks, I'll be honest. I like more modern day decks for a number of reasons. Oh my goodness, where are you? You're missing my life. I'm sad. You know what, I bet you it's upstairs because that deck is out of print. And I have my out of print decks that aren't being discussed. Look at me. Aren't being discussed today in this video. So it's probably upstairs, knowing me. The Tarot of the Ages, definitely check it out. It's a beautiful deck. It's U.S. Games. It surprised me that it went out of print, and it surprised me now at the current value it's at. I'm not going to mention it because values go up and down. But it surprised me that the current value that it's at available on the sites that have it. And I have only been able to really find a French edition of it. It surprised me, but it's the only thing I don't like about it is that it's a smaller tarot size deck than usual. and the images are, I mean, there's a border, and so the images are really little. The other deck I wanted to mention is the Goddess Guidance Oracle by Doreen Virtue. Now, I'm actually kind of glad that this one is probably also upstairs because it is out of print. And, you know, she doesn't want a lot of advertisement on her deck, so she don't want any advertisements because she is, you know, born again Christian, you know, so she is not trying to make any money or trying to have her name brought up anywhere around her decks. But I really enjoy it, and I'm hoping that Hay House finds a way to create it with a new creator, someone who could, you know, freshen it up a little bit, maybe put it on some matte cardstock or something, and reprint it under a different name. And a lot of people who I know have the Goddess Guidance Oracle knows what I'm talking about. The deck is accurate. I use it for readings only for myself primarily. I rarely would use it for client readings. It's those ones that, the cards that I have on the altar. It has helped me navigate big things in my life, helped me to manifest big things in my life, like my home purchase, transitioning different careers. It actually is quite amazing. So that is one I hope gets reprinted. And I'm actually glad that that one in particular is upstairs, not somewhere I can easily get to. So there you have it. All right, the next one, and the next two I actually have here on my table. So no worries there. Hold on, let me take a sip of my beverage. The next one I hope gets reprinted is the Oracle of Echoes. This is by Anna Turian. She is the artist of the Bonestone and Earthflesh, and she does also have the Tarot of Echoes that's in the works that is going to be mass market. She has the Tarot of the Abyss also in the works. It's going to be mass market. So she's got some decks coming. I don't know if this one's going to come into print or not. This is her Oracle. She has a Lenormand. She has quite a few decks. She's worked, I think, also with others. I think maybe other people may have commissioned her before to do work for their decks. This is Depression. Create Space. I really am in love with her deck. And I can't wait. I cannot wait for her decks to come out next year. I'm thinking it's going to be next year. I'm not sure. I'm patiently waiting. Creativity. Patiently waiting. She's a woman after my heart. Let me tell you why. Oh, I love an oracle deck that is tarot sized. That just makes me so flippin' happy. So much easier to handle. So easy on the table to use multiple decks, because if you're like me, you layer your readings with different decks at times. Sometimes I only use one or two. Other times I'm called to use multiple decks. It depends on the reading. So anyways, that is the Oracle of Echoes. That is one that would be lovely if another reprint comes up. It could stay indie if it must, or it can be picked up by a mass market publisher, but I'm inclined to keep it as indie. There's some decks that just are magical in their indie form, and that's where they need to stay. But I wouldn't be mad if it was picked up by a mass market publisher either. Finally, we're going to talk about this last one, and this one's a unique one, and I hesitated adding it to the video because of a number of reasons. The first is this one will probably never be reprinted. And I have my own opinion about that, but that doesn't mean that that is a right opinion. Okay? And that opinion is that I really adore this deck. This deck is the Dark Moon Damsel Oracle. It is not in print, and the creator has expressed that she created this deck during a period of time in her life where it was dark. It was not where she really wants to ever revisit or look at again. And she is just ready to put this thing behind her. She's moved on. And so that's why it's not going to probably ever be reprinted, whether a mass market publisher wanted to do it or not. It's not going to be reprinted. And this is where it's like, I'm sad because I really think it's something special, but that doesn't supersede her needs and desires for her creation. Release. Isn't that gorgeous? Doesn't that take you somewhere? It takes me somewhere. Clarity. It's something so fun. And yeah, it's dealing, I don't feel a dark energy. I know she may have been in a dark place, but that's not what I feel here. Nourish. And I love the aesthetic of this deck. I don't like to bring it out often because people instantly will ask me, what deck is that? Who created it? Where can I get it? And it's like, you can't. So I don't usually talk about it. Fortitude. Because it's like it brings up too much for folks, and then they're like, why isn't she going to create it? Well, it's not where she's at anymore. Bear. Evolve. I love that as evolve. Crystals take a long time to evolve. Time. Gracefully descend. Stillness. Just gorgeous. You know, I'm into crystals, so this totally appealed to that whole thing inside of me. Movement. Resilient. I can't believe it. My eyes are playing tricks on me, y'all. I even paid for LASIK. They told me, though, I was going to, it doesn't matter. LASIK doesn't fix the fact that you have old eyeballs and you need readers. I'm like, great. Intuition. I'm like looking at them like, oh my God. It's doing some weird warpy thing. Destination. Like and I've always asked my friends who are slightly older than me, like, is that what that feels like? Is that what that is? And they're like, yes. I'm like, oh no. Flourish. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is one that I wish upon a wish in a star that the creator or she would give it off and bequeath it to someone who would do it, to create it, because it's really a beautiful deck that I love reading with. I actually use it for client readings for a while when I would do readings on my channel or on my Instagram. I used to do readings on my Instagram. This was one of the decks I would use because it photographs really beautifully. Detach. Boxed in. So I can understand. And then as I'm going through the cards, I'm kind of seeing what she's talking about. I don't care. This is a gorgeous deck, in my humble opinion. All right, guys. So there you have it. That is my list of out-of-print decks, at least in my collection, and at least in my opinion, that need a reprint. Tell me, what decks, in your humble opinion, your out-of-print decks that maybe you have or maybe you know of, that you feel like, yeah, a reprint should be happening right about now. Let me know in the comments below. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Sending you so much love, and take good care of yourselves. Bye.